This is the Battle of Marathon in Total War Arena, and it's sort of a sad goodbye to Caesar and the great skirmish commander that he was and that he's no longer going to be. I've toyed around a bit with which unit combination gives me the highest points on average when using Caesar, and for me, 1 legionary cavalry and 2 Germanic Scouts seem to hit the sweet spot, because then you get the diversity bonus, you get the ability to farm a lot of point with your Germanics, and, which is going to be very crucial for this battle, if the cavalry is managed properly, you're going to have a late game cavalry unit to hunt down skirmishers and to hunt down enemy artillery, and points wise that can be massive. So let's just go over which commanders are here and what I have. I have Caesar here, and he's right here. Then I have my 2 Germanics. I have my allies are some Principe over here with a Velite. And over here we have 2 more Principe with 1 small onager. In the center we have this. There's a lot of Principe in this battle. We have 3 Principe in the center. Then we have 3 Ionian archers, because I'm playing at a weird time. There are some pretty interesting matchmaking sessions. Then we have 2 Praetorians here with 1 onager. Agent A47 has the 300 Spartans, tier 9. Agent 47 also has some tier 4 heavy Lithobolos. This heavy goes with his Principe up into the forest. This is a bit dangerous because it exposes our flank. Now our top is completely open. Let's just see who went in the forest. Yeah, we have heavies in the forest. Heavy center, that's fine, but we also have heavies in this forest, and this is not optimal at all. So one of the things that makes Caesar so great, of course, his ability to increase damage on skirmishers. So look at the damage I'm doing here to these cavalry units running away. They've already taken massive damage from my archers, and I'm already at 1,000 points here, 1,200, 1,300. This is, without taking any casualties, I'm getting a lot of points just by standing here and firing. And this guy has basically lost a cavalry unit, and you can see that he is YOLOing to go for where the artillery usually is. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep my cav unit around here. Visibility is very low here, so I'm going to use my cavalry to try and trap all of his cavalry and hopefully not get friendly fire to death by my allies. So I increase speed, increase charge speed, and then I charge in. And doing this on unsuspecting cavalry units, it helps that they're lower tier, but I did manage to get a lot of killing done from that charge. Didn't manage to rout the units, but I divide and conquer them, so they're not able to use anything like Oath of Perseverance or Warcry, because this is Scipio, I believe. So the legionary cavalry did a really good job there, already at 2,500 points. And he doesn't really... A bit of friendly fire there could have happened, but luckily the shot hit this march, which made the flaming shot less effective. So, closing in on 3,000 points here, getting some more shots in with my archers. The reason why I have them on this ledge here is because having them on the ledge means that they will be able to fire on the cavalry even though they are outside of their line of sight. 300 Spartans move in, finish off the enemy cavalry, and that's it. There are these depleted units in the back here, but we have a AFK guy. I'm just microing him to get in the way of that cavalry. In the forest, artillery is wrecking our heavies. The enemy mainly has heavies as well, so Eagle cohort versus veteran legionaries. These units are higher tier than ours, so that might be a problem. You can see they are leading slightly on points. I just want to stay here and keep an eye on top, because top is looking very shaky. Center is also looking a bit shaky, but we have a lot of units here. We also have some Ionian archer support. But artillery and fire is killing men from both sides here, and that works to our advantage, I think, because our troops are on average lower tier here. So getting the enemies, that the enemy is doing a lot of friendly fire to itself is quite good for us at this point. And as you can see, I've got my 2,802 points, but nothing much is happening now, so I'm going to send out my legionary cavalry. I have good line of sight here, so I feel fairly safe. There are no enemy skirmishers. I feel fairly safe there's no enemy cav. And I'm going to try to single out the unit that is going to give me the least amount of friendly fire. And this is that unit of Eagle Cohort. So VD, increasing range of my skirmishers. And you can see once again the points are starting to increase very rapidly. Doing a lot of damage to this Eagle Cohort. Very important. But I am taking fire from a ballista somewhere, so I have to run out of its line of sight. And you can see I just dodged a bolt there. So now there's no point in me firing anymore, because the unit is very depleted. I'm going to push up and try and take some shots on these guys. Here we have some very dangerous Cimmerian heavy archers. I cannot trade with the Cimmerian heavies, especially not in the forest. It's going to go horribly wrong if I engage the Cimmerians. But these auxiliary Sagittarii, I can engage them if I manage to use my increased range. I am, and I'm doing a fair bit of damage to them here. The volleys fall into the forest, and yep, a lot of damage done from those few volleys. So I'm just going to pull back, because we are in a delicious blob for artillery to hit. Like one flaming volley into this blob and we would lose the game, essentially. So here we have the Cimmerian heavies moving up. I'm still keeping my cavalry way in the back. I want to save it for the late game. I'm going to push up and try to get some shots off on the Cimmerians, because they are shooting at our artillery and they are taking it down very, very quickly. So we might even lose the artillery here, but the artillery manages to turn around, get a few flaming volleys off, does a lot of damage to them, and that sort of takes the focus off me here. So I'm getting some nice damage in here, and these Cimmerians are very depleted, but there is another unit here pouring fire in. So I just want to get a few volleys off into the backs of these guys, and then I'm going to retreat. So the consumables I've used here, I've used the broadhead, and I'm using the flaming arrows. I'm losing a lot of Germanic archers here, which isn't good, because I didn't have line of sight over here. So committing over there was a bit of a mistake. So now I'm just going to pull back there, but 4,000 points, that's a decent game. That means I've traded reasonably well. So I want to stay clear of the forest, because I don't have line of sight, and the artillery has range here. So I'm just going to move up towards the tower where we have good line of sight. And there are more targets, so hopefully I won't be singled out. But the enemy is starting to sneak ahead on points. Getting some shots off here, checking the friendly fire, no friendly fire. So I'm going to risk a few volleys here. The enemy artillery, though, is causing quite a bit of friendly fire. And let's just have a look at the friendly fire here. I can't check the enemy team, it seems like. But my team... yeah, the friendly fire isn't really that bad, except for play ball. 500 points and 85 friendly fire. Not horrible, but not necessary in the slightest. So it looks like we are going to do a decent job here, so I'm not going to be firing into the blob anymore. Push up a bit and get some shots off on these veteran legionaries, because they could tip the balance in favor of the enemy team on this side. The artillery just doesn't care that it's killing friendlies, it seems, on the enemy side, which is good for us. And doing a fair bit of damage to these guys, together with the flaming shots from the artillery. These legionary cohorts are going to drop. Switching to flaming now, because they are closer. They didn't throw javelins my way, fortunately. And this is why I like the flaming. It allows you to get in a few very damaging volleys. Just about to hit 5k points now, and I pull away. A bit too late, because I take some fire from the Pila. I also take some damage here. Some Germanics in the forest. I just wanted to feint like I'm going to go over there, so they pull out. They probably just pulled out because of our artillery was firing at them there. So once again, taking Pila volleys. Not good, but not disastrous. The enemy, though, is comfortably ahead of us on points. And they have more men left, so I'm going to have to be very conservative with my men. Since I have archers, I am just about the only player aside from this guy, that can deal damage for free against the enemy. The artillery as well, of course. So now the veteran legionaries pushing alone here are just getting shredded from all sides by fire. Here's another unit of veteran legionaries moving up. Getting some shots off into the back, more shots into the back. One final volley, doing a fair bit of damage. So now these 300 Spartans should have no problems dealing with the very depleted legionaries. CCP Lord pushing up again. So more shots. Unfortunately, this is into the shielded side, but I'm doing a fair bit of damage still. So stopping to fire just when the engagement happens. A bit of friendly fire, but it wasn't that bad. Only a scratch. But Plenovic looks like he's losing quite heavily on the charge there. Artillery incoming, killing friend and foe alike. So I take a quick look at the scoreboard and see that our enemy is almost 2,000 points ahead. Only 5 minutes left, so I'm going to send my cavalry up here, since I figure that top is open and I see that the enemy artillery is firing from this area. I don't want to go directly in where they have line of sight, I want to go around. They don't have the tower, so I feel quite safe in doing so. More flaming volleys incoming. And boom. So let's just turn off Fog of War for a moment. Oh, let's see, that didn't work. Nope, didn't work. Okay, no problem. I think I like watching it without Fog of War, because then I see the battle like I actually saw it. It might get a bit weird if you can see everything at all times, because then you don't see where there is line of sight and such, and that's very important. So we managed to decap. They started capping. We decapped a bit. Just want to swing around here so I don't take any fire on the way in. He's happy to serve Rome, which is nice for Rome, I guess. So 5,500 points, not a bad game, but it's not over yet. It will be though if we don't get more points, because they have more men, they have more points, time is running out. So here's a lonesome artillery unit, completely undefended. So I give it a charge, I mess up the charge a bit, but since there are no supporting units, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to win here anyway. This river is crossed, and there is no going back. So look at what happens to the points now. They have almost 24,000 points. But I should be able to bring back the lead by killing off these artillery units. So 6,500 points now, and we are closing in very rapidly on their lead. I need to kill this artillery unit, and I need to kill this artillery unit. If I manage to do that, we might just win. But they are capping as well, so now our artillery player is being very smart. He doesn't have line of sight here, but he's just firing blindly into the base at different points, hitting the enemy, so he's decapping. Very nicely done. It's nice to have a good artillery player on our team for once. So getting into the Mikisauge's artillery, and killing this artillery unit is going to put us in the lead, ever so slightly. But me getting these two artillery units put us in the lead. Now there are some artillery units being killed over here as well, and that's going to put us even more comfortably in the lead, but it's still very, very close. They are capping, so they're going to get capping points. I'm fairly confident that Agent 47 and Planovic are smart enough to fire here, because I've seen them do that before, so I'm not going to go back. I'm going to go cap, get some capping points myself. Over here I noticed that this unit is in Oath of Perseverance, so I'm moving into its flank and firing into the flank. Agent 47's units are standing facing the wrong way. I think I don't know what's going on here. I think they're actually pushing the wrong way. So getting some shots off here, and I'm doing more damage to the enemy than I'm doing to the friendlies. There are more of them. But you can see that they are actually capping faster than us. And they managed to get rid of an artillery unit as well. So now they're actually leading on points. I need to get some points somehow, so I'm going to send in this extra unit of Germanic Scouts into the base. Keep shooting here, because they are still in oath. They're going to turn around and fire very soon when they go out of oath. Now they're out of oath. They turn around and fire. I lose men. I have to disengage. But this artillery volley here saves us. Well, not this one. Maybe the other one. Because it's very close. They are ahead on points. But if they lose their decap points and if we get our decap points, there it is. So they lose points, we get points, just as the artillery is killed by some Germanic archers. So that was very, very important, because now we're getting capping points, they are not getting capping points. Trying to fire a bit more on this unit, but at this point it's clear that we're going to get this, because we have quite a few units capping. But that was an insanely close game. And I'm really glad I had Germanics, I'm really glad I had the Legionary Cavalry, but I'm going to be very sad that Caesar is essentially nerfed to be more of a supporting commander than a skirmish commander, because I really liked him as the skirmish commander. That was my daily, so it gave me... too bad I couldn't see the results there, but the daily gave me 2000 XP and 8000 points. That was a good Caesar game. You can get more, but I'm very happy with 8k. Strength and honor.